I'm writing this because I still can't believe what happened. Maybe putting it into words will help me process it, or maybe I just need to vent to strangers who won't judge me. My name is Emmett and I'm 44 years old. I work as a software architect in Austin, Texas. Until recently, I thought I had a pretty good life. I was married to Giselle for 15 years, and we had two wonderful kids, 8-year-old Jasper and 10-year-old Willow. Giselle was a stay-at-home mom, and she was amazing at it. She volunteered at the kids' school, organized playdates, and always made sure we had a home-cooked meal on the table every night. I know it wasn't always easy for her, but she never complained. I always tried to show her how much I appreciated her, whether it was through small gifts, date nights, or just telling her how much I loved her. Looking back, maybe I wasn't doing enough. Maybe I was too focused on my career and not enough on her needs. About 6 months ago, Giselle started acting differently. She became more distant, less affectionate. She started going out more with her friends from the moms group, and she was always on her phone, texting and smiling. I tried to talk to her about it, but she always brushed it off, saying I was being paranoid and that she just needed some time to herself. I wanted to believe her, but something felt off. My gut was telling me something was wrong. I started noticing other things too. She was dressing differently, wearing more makeup and buying new clothes. She even started going to the gym, which she had never done before. I know it sounds cliché, but it was like she was trying to be someone else, someone younger and more attractive. One night I was working late, trying to meet a deadline. Giselle had told me she was going to a book club meeting at a friend's house. Around 11 p.m., I decided to call her to see if she wanted me to pick her up. Her phone went straight to voicemail. I tried calling a few more times, but still no answer. I started to get worried. Maybe something had happened to her. I decided to drive to her friend's house to check on her. I knew the address because I had dropped her off there once before. When I arrived, the house was dark and quiet. There were no cars in the driveway. I rang the doorbell, but no one answered. That's when I knew something was terribly wrong. I got back in my car and started driving around, trying to figure out where she could be. That's when I saw her car parked outside a local bar, the Rusty Mug. It was a place we used to go to when we were first dating, but we hadn't been there in years. My heart sank. What was she doing there at this hour? I parked my car down the street and walked towards the bar. I peeked through the window and saw her sitting at a table with a man. I couldn't see his face, but I could tell they were close. They were laughing and talking, and she was touching his arm. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My wife, the woman I loved and trusted, was out on a date with another man. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I wanted to burst into the bar and confront them, but I couldn't move. I was frozen in place, paralyzed by shock and disbelief. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, watching them until they finally got up to leave. They walked out of the bar, holding hands, and got into his car. I followed them, my mind racing, trying to make sense of what was happening. They drove to a nearby hotel, the Alamo Inn. I watched as they went inside, my heart shattering into a million pieces. I drove home in a daze, my mind numb with pain. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't think. All I could see was Giselle with that man, laughing and touching him. How could she do this to me? How could she do this to our family? The next morning, I waited for her to come home. When she finally walked through the door, she looked tired and guilty. I confronted her immediately. "Where were you last night?" I asked, my voice trembling with anger. She hesitated for a moment, then lied to my face. "I was at the book club meeting," she said. "We stayed up late talking." I couldn't take it anymore. "Don't lie to me, Giselle," I said. "I know where you were. I saw you at the Rusty Mug with him." Her face turned white. She didn't say anything for a moment, then she started to cry. "Emmett, I'm so sorry," she said. "It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far." I was furious. "Who is he?" I demanded. "What's his name?" She wouldn't tell me at first, but I kept pressing her until she finally broke down and told me everything. His name was Thaddeus, and he was a personal trainer at the gym she had started going to. They had been having an affair for the past 3 months. I couldn't believe it. 3 months. How could she keep this a secret from me for so long? I felt like my entire world was collapsing around me. I kicked her out of the house that day. I couldn't bear to look at her. I told her I needed time to think, to figure out what to do. She begged me to forgive her, to give her another chance, but I couldn't. The trust was broken. The damage was done. The next few weeks were the worst of my life. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't focus on anything. I was a mess. I told the kids that their mom was away on a business trip. I didn't want them to know the truth, not yet. I didn't want to shatter their world too. I hired a lawyer and started the divorce process. It was painful and messy. Giselle didn't want the divorce. She said she still loved me and that she was willing to do anything to make things right, but I couldn't trust her anymore. The image of her with Thaddeus was burned into my brain and I couldn't shake it. I found out Thaddeus was married too. His wife's name was Brienne and she was completely unaware of the affair. I felt sorry for her. She was just as much a victim as I was. I decided to reach out to Brienne. I didn't know what to say, but I felt like she deserved to know the truth. We met for coffee and I told her everything. She was shocked and devastated. She had no idea that her husband was capable of such a thing. We cried together, shared our stories, and found comfort in each other's pain. Brienne confronted Thaddeus, and he denied it at first, but she had proof. She kicked him out of the house and filed for divorce. We started spending more time together. Brienne and we supported each other through the divorce process, and we helped each other heal. We talked about our feelings, our fears, and our hopes for the future. We discovered that we had a lot in common. We both loved hiking, reading, and spending time with our kids. We started to fall in love. It was unexpected, but it felt right. After the divorces were finalized, Brienne and I decided to take a chance on each other. We moved in together and we blended our families. It wasn't always easy, but we made it work. We learned to communicate, to compromise, and to support each other. We created a new life for ourselves, a life filled with love, laughter, and happiness. Giselle, on the other hand, didn't fare so well. Thaddeus left her shortly after his divorce. He moved on to another woman, leaving Giselle alone and heartbroken. She tried to contact me to apologize and ask for forgiveness, but I couldn't forgive her. The pain she had caused me was too deep. I told her that I had moved on and that I was happy with Brienne. She was devastated, but I couldn't help her. She had made her choices and she had to live with the consequences. Looking back, I'm grateful for what happened. It was the most painful experience of my life, but it also led me to Brienne, the woman I'm meant to be with. I learned that sometimes the worst things that happen to us can lead us to the best things. I also learned that forgiveness is a choice, and sometimes it's okay not to forgive. Giselle destroyed our marriage, our family, and my trust. She doesn't deserve my forgiveness. I'm happy now with Brienne and our kids. We have a beautiful life together, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I hope Giselle finds happiness someday, but I don't want to be a part of it. My story is a testament to the fact that even after the most devastating betrayals, it is possible to find love and happiness again. It takes time, healing, and a willingness to open your heart to new possibilities, but it is possible. Don't give up on love even when it hurts, because sometimes the greatest love stories are born from the ashes of betrayal.